guys ever like wanted to achieve something so bad, but your doubts hold you back? Like, you're so scared of being a failure that you don't even want to give it a try? Well, there's a quote by Susie Cassins who said, "Doubts kill more dreams than failure do." And I completely agree with this quote because I've been in a similar situation like multiple times, and I'm pretty sure everybody in this class has been in this situation too. Okay, for me, I'm brown. I come from a community where people are always like, girls are like more cornered than boys. They're always like, oh, just because you're a girl, you can't do this, you can't do that, and then like they just like create doubts in you, like, you know. They're always like, okay, they're pointing fingers at you, and then just don't let you achieve what you wanna achieve. Okay, so I'm gonna follow up with 3 examples. So my first example is from back in 2016 when I visited my home country. My family members from over there, they asked me what I wanted to do after graduating high school, and then I told them I wanted to join the military, and then they kind of just started judging me because they were like, oh, you're not a boy, only boys join military, you're a girl, you're not supposed to do that, and then it kind of made me like lose self-confidence in myself because I thought I wasn't good enough for that, but then I didn't let their words bring me down. Like, you know, if I had let their words hold me back, I feel like I wouldn't be where I am right now. My second example is from this movie. In high school, I watched this movie in history class. It was called Unbroken. It was about these 2 brothers. Okay, it was about from like the wartime, and then like the whole city gets bombed or whatever, and then like these 2 brothers, one of them is like traumatized, like the little brother gets traumatized, and then he's like scared of running and then like doing stuff, and then his brother's like always like motivating him to like do stuff, like, you know, oh, you have to run, like, you know, and then little by little he just like starts doing stuff that he was scared to do, like he starts running even though he doubts himself, he's like, oh, I have to do it. So I feel like every time you motivate somebody, like, it goes a long way, like, you know, every time you tell people to like do something that they're scared to do, like every time you should like support somebody, it could like completely change somebody's life around. And my third example is about my dad. He always wanted to be an accountant, but then, okay, so my dad is the type of person who cares a lot about what other people think. He's like, oh, what if I do this and then like I don't do it like properly and other people are gonna like judge me for it. Like, he cares too much about his reputation. So he wanted to be an accountant, and then he wanted to join the classes in adult school, but then he was too scared, like, oh, people are gonna judge me for this. So me and my mom, we talked some senses into him, and then he finally agreed on joining the classes. So he's gonna be taking classes for accounting and business this summer. So yeah, and then you see, I didn't think I was going to do this speech, but I didn't let my doubts hold me back. I had a busy weekend. I didn't let my problems hold me back from doing my stuff. I didn't want to fail my class, so I did the speech. So in conclusion, I think it's very important to like believe in yourself, and then just not let your doubts hold you back. Like, you know, you never know. Like, I feel like most of us, like, you know, we think of doing something, and then we like think of all the process that we're gonna be going through, and then like we think of all the difficulties that we're gonna be facing, and then we just like let our doubts hold us back. Like, we just don't end up not doing it. I feel like we should just believe in ourselves, even though you're not gonna do it right. Like, you know, I feel like you should at least try, then like, regretting it later in the future. Like, oh, what if I should have just done that? Like, you know. So I feel like it's better if you just like believe in yourself and then just do whatever you want to do, and then not let other people's word hold you back. And then it's even better if you like, if somebody wants to do something but then they're scared to do it, I feel like you should motivate them to like, you should like, you know, encourage them to do stuff that they want to do. You know, you never know, you could just change somebody's life. And then, yeah, thank you.
say like maybe cornered for being a girl? Like, oh, you can't do this.
All right, well, this is sort of the same comment that I had for Dustin earlier. You basically have done an impromptu speech with a long week's preparation. You created a esoteric discussion of a quote that you've turned into kind of a personal value statement. There's not really a lot of research in it. It's not anything that you couldn't have done almost instantaneously had you done the impromptu speech. It's just that you took a week to get ready to do it. And I think that that's it's a different kind of assignment as a consequence, and so it's missing some of the things that we expect. Now, on the other hand, you do deliver it relatively well. Your eye contact is good, at least with me. I'm not exactly sure that you looked at everybody else in the class, but generally the center of attention seemed to be right down the center here, and I think sometimes you might want to engage people a little bit more. Your legs are a little bit nervous. That's where some of your anxiety is coming out. You're kind of crossing your legs, and you don't swing around a lot at the hips, but it does look like you change your posture while you're speaking, and that seems a little bit awkward. There are some good gestures, some indicators while you're speaking. I appreciated that. Let's see. Your voice drops out a little bit in the one spot. I know that part of that is designed to kind of create a sense of intimacy, but it does feel less like it's doing that and more like it's just, well, I'm now talking about the section that I'm least prepared to talk about, and I'm just dropping my voice while I'm doing that. The details on some of the examples, this is where I think it's evident that this is really just an impromptu speech that's been adapted here, because you haven't planned out the stories on most of these points. You're just kind of relying on your memory of the events of visiting your home country and what family and relatives said about your wanting to join the military. The reference to the movie, for instance, you don't even sound like you remember the movie very well, and it's like, wait, this is the thing that you are talking about. This is your second example. This is a prepared speech, and If it's the movie Unbroken that I'm thinking about with the running in it, you've got it's very distantly connected to what you've talked about here, and it really doesn't feel like it's connected at all. I think you're a little bit better when you're talking about the experience with your dad, but again, that's one of those things where, this is your own story. This didn't really require a lot of research. This is one of those things that you could easily have put together almost instantaneously. So I think you've got the right idea about doing an impromptu speech, but you've got the wrong format for doing that impromptu speech. All right, thank you.